Hey YouTube, everybody, this is John, and I'm the owner of Black Ribbon Wood Doctor. So today I was gonna show you a little bit about the double-sided Turner's tape is what it's called. Turners are for people who turn stuff on a lathe, like a bowl or a bat or a mallet or pens, pretty much anything that is circular. You can turn it on a lathe. So I'm going to show you the double stick Turner's tape. So this is a roll of it. It's sticky. Of course, it's double-sided, so it's stick here, and then pull the wrapper off of it, and then it'll stick on both sides. And that is very handy for earlier today I needed to cut that dado in there, and so when you set it down, it's not gonna be able to be cut very flat. So what I did was, where is the piece I used for it? It's over here. So I did the double-sided tape on it, and you can see that that matches pretty good. So I used some of that tape, put it on the back of my material here, and then pressed it down onto here. So then I had a square surface to the bottom side here, so that I could cut a flat dado here that is parallel to this surface. So it can, well, double-sided tape does come in very handy. I also used it on the back of these boards that I showed you last time that I was putting together for that dog crate. So there they are, all sanded down and flushed and smooth across the top. And most of the joints are actually tight. There is some of the joints here that had a little snipe on the end of it, and so that's what produced that gap right there. So the plan for this is to, since all of these edges were jointed on the joiner, it means that these edges are not parallel to each other, which makes the whole thing, it could be out of square this way or that way. The top could be pulled in, the bottom could be pulled in. So in order to square that up, I'm going to double-sided sticky tape this the panel down onto this MDF substrate, and so I'll be able to reference the square edges on it. So then, I mean, you can see there that the back of it is not square. It's not straight across there. And so chances are, let's see here, this is the square corner right here. So I put my square on it. That's the square corner, so everything's gonna get referenced off of this corner on this piece. I just put a little bracket right there so that I know that that corner here is square, and then this corner here is square. You can't really see it. There's the pencil mark there. So I know that those are the two square corners. And so I can just square everything off of this. And then what I need to do is drill some holes down in here that will accept the metal rods that are going to connect this piece and this piece. I think, yeah, both of these are for the door. Yep. So these two pieces are going to get connected with a metal rod, but the rods need to be straight up and down, and the holes need to be in the same spot from the ends, so that I don't end up with rods kind of like one of these things. So what I'm going to do is similar to this idea, and put a square substrate under it, and then I can use this to square everything up, both the sides, the top, and the bottom. I'm not going to cut much off of the bottom or the top here, because they don't need to be flush all the way across, because this is the intended design. So, and then while I have it stuck onto here, I can use that to get it straight up and down and be able to drill the holes down in here, and they're actually straight rather than if I put it down through there, it's going to go straight down here, but when you straighten that out, the hole's going to actually be coming across this way. So that is a very handy ways to use the double-sided turner's tape. So, and there's all kinds of uses for it. So when I sanded these down, I used a different brand of the double stick tape, and it was actually the Fast Cap brand. This one is the Spec Tape, pressure sensitive tape, which, sorry, probably don't want to be looking at my shirt. So for that tape, the more pressure you put on it, the harder it will stick. So keep that in mind when you're applying pressure to it, but pressure helps it stick better. So if you actually need it to stick more, put a little more pressure on it. So yeah, when I sanded these things down, we have a big, like 4 foot or 4.5 foot wide belt sander at school. It actually has 2 belts in it, and so it comes out sanded down to 180 grit. Well, sanded up to 180 grit, which is really nice. All I had to do was just hit it with the random orbital sander for just about 30 seconds on each side, and then it was flattened out, and all of the linear scratches were taken out from the belt sander. Anyways, I used some Fast Cap, the Fast Cap brand of the double stick tape. And it was a pain in the butt getting that tape off the back of it. The Fast Cap tape is really thin, clear. It sticks really well, and the way that you get it off is by rubbing your thumb on it a lot like you would do to get the adhesive from a sticker off of whatever you're needing to get, one of those manufacturer stickers. I'm sure you guys all know what stickers I'm talking about, and so it's a pain in the butt to get all that adhesive off of there. So for all of these panels, I've got 8 panels, and it probably took me a good half an hour just to get all of that off, and then I had to flip them over and run those through to get the other side sanded, and so I had to repeat the process of taking that tape off of there. With this Spec Tape, yeah, you can, as soon as you need to pop it off, you can just grab a little corner and tear it right off. Comes off super simple. Well, at least it did for the first application that I used it for today. But don't leave it on there too long, because it will stick even more, and you don't need a whole lot of it either. So I'll get my knife here and show you about how much you need. Well, as much as I can with one hand, right? So here you go. So I'll get a little bit started here, and then I'll get my blade out and just pull it against the blade. But let's see if I can do this with one hand. So really you only need probably about that much. You only need about that much to use to stick this piece to the substrate. So I used 2 pieces of that, one on each side, and it was good to go. Do not run a strip like all the way across the board, because then you won't get this off of here. So go sparingly on it, but make sure you put enough on there so that it doesn't come loose. So usually about 2 or 3 of those squares and you're good. For these panels, I used 1 on each side, and I was good to go. So don't have to, well, a little goes a long ways. So anyways, thanks for watching. Have a good one.